Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a quick video here. It's been obviously a tough week. If you love guitar or rock music or music in general, it's been a really tough week. So this is it's a few days after. It took me a few days just to be able to get in front of a camera. I haven't actually even touched a guitar. It kind of hit me pretty hard, which I'm sure it's for a lot of people. Um, but I just wanted to use this video to kind of tell you some of my memories of Eddie. I was fortunate enough to meet him a few times, and we all know how amazing of a guitar player was, an innovator just in every area of music, from virtuoso technique, inventing new techniques, inventing new ways of um, achieving guitar tone, innovations for guitar itself, amps, pedals. I mean, just everything. He's just really across the board. He just had it all going, pretty much better than anybody ever has before or will ever, I believe. So we all know that. But I wanted to kind of talk about him on a personal level, my personal interactions with him. So maybe talk more about the human side of him, which maybe not a lot of people know. Before I get into that, this channel is going to be pretty much like Van Halen Central for a few weeks. I called it the Van Halen summer. Everything this year, since the pandemic hit, I've been doing a lot of Van Halen lessons. So now, obviously, I'm going to ramp that up because I really want to honor him. The only way that I personally can, I happen to be a guy who teaches guitar songs on YouTube. So that's the way I can do it, is teach his songs so more generations to come, players playing now or in the future, can have access to his music and learn about just how amazing he was. So for these songs that I'm going to be doing the next few weeks, please request below. Which ones do you want me to tackle? I'm going to start cranking them out in a couple of days as soon as I get back into playing. It's just really kind of hit me hard this week. Or maybe share your own memories of Eddie if you ever got to meet him. I'm going to read every single one of them, so please leave a comment. All right, so I'll talk about when I first met. Well, first of all, I moved to Los Angeles in August of 2000, and I got to get a job at Guitar Center because obviously moving across country, I didn't have any students now. It's a completely new town for me. So I got a job at the Sherman Oaks Guitar Center in Sherman Oaks, California, which is kind of in the valley. And it's not far from Eddie's house. If you're a guitar player and you live in LA, you know where Eddie lives. I'm not going to say where he lives, but we all know. It was one of the first places I drove past when I arrived in LA. So I worked there, and we started, I'm just a guy from North Carolina. I'm not used to seeing a lot of celebrities. I'm not a big celebrity guy anyway, unless it's somebody who actually did something I really admire. And most of the big rock stars, they'd send their assistants in. You'd see their name on the receipt, but that's about it. But it's their assistant that came in to pick up the gear. But Eddie would come in there with Wolfie all the time, and I think Wolf at that time was more into drums, so he spent a lot of time upstairs in the drum area. And Eddie would come down and just hang out with us guitar guys, and it was very surreal. So the first time it happened, I had seen some famous rock stars by that point. I'd been there for a few weeks. Nothing like Eddie though. So I see him walk in. This is a Sunday afternoon in Guitar Center, and if you know, at least back then, I haven't been in Guitar Center in a while. It's crowded. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people playing all at the same time, and Eddie didn't care, so he just kind of walked down there and walked right over. And there's this little desk, that little area that you could check out, and the guitars, or people buy guitars, but most of the floor was just for the guitars themselves. So it's only like one computer that we could use, one or two, to check people out. So I was standing behind that desk, and Eddie comes walking over, and I'm horrified. So I don't know what to say. And it's quite obvious to him that I am a little bit starstruck and have no idea what to say to him. And so he cracked a joke. He wanted to make me feel better, and so he he made a joke. The joke, I don't know exactly how he worded it, but there was like 45 bad guitar players and maybe 3 good ones playing all at the same time. This is a Sunday afternoon in Guitar Center, and it was just this cacophony of noise. And he made a joke. He said, did you know that everything that you hear throughout your life is going to, infiltrate your own music? That's how you create your own personal style is the music that you hear. So he was basically making a joke that I work at Guitar Center and I have to hear this stuff all day. So this is the noise that I'm going to be creating with my own music. And it made me laugh, and he laughed, and then it kind of just made me feel like, man, this is one of the coolest people in the world. I mean, he's literally the top echelon, probably the most influential guitar player of all time, and he's worried about making me feel comfortable in this situation. And then we chatted for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and I think one of the other guys who worked over there came over and started talking to him too. So it was just really, really cool. It was like it's a moment I'll never forget, But he came in there quite often. I only worked at Guitar Center for about 5 months because it's a horrible job, but I just wanted to rack up students. But the second time I saw him, he was upstairs, I guess, with Wolf upstairs looking at drum stuff, and he comes walking down the stairs by himself. He just left Wolf up there, and there's this guy, I don't know, 20-something-year-old guy sitting there playing, checking out some guitars and doing some tapping licks as Eddie's walking down the stairs. And people in the store knew that Eddie was in the store. And I don't think this guy did. So all of a sudden, Eddie just walks right up to him. And he was like, that sounds good, man. You want it here? Let me show you how I kind of do this. And he sat there and he gave this guy probably 10, 15-minute guitar lesson just on the spot. And this guy is like, absolutely looks up, and it's Eddie Van Halen, is just like shaken, but just cannot believe what it's like a 1 in a million shot that Eddie Van Halen's sitting here giving you a guitar lesson. And everybody just started crowding around, and Eddie didn't care, and he just helped the guy out and gave him some great tips, and it was just amazing. It was just incredible to watch, and it just shows you the type of person he is. He liked making people happy, and it was just really cool to watch him, when the cameras aren't on or whatever, just how he treats people, and it was just really amazing. What was also cool about Eddie when he came in there, because I probably saw him in Guitar Center like maybe half a dozen times, he would be dressed completely different every single time. So like the first time I think I saw him, he was literally wearing like a tank top and blue jeans. Like, I don't care. It's kind of around the house clothing, right? The next time I saw him a few weeks later, he was wearing like really nice outfit, like he was going to he was wearing like a really nice sweater put together, like khaki pants. It was like his wife dressed him for the day, like they had to go out to some big function. And it was so funny. And then the last time that I saw him, which I'll talk about in a second, last time I saw him at Guitar Center, he was wearing like torn up black jeans with it looked like a leather jacket tied around his waist and like a black shirt and fingerless black gloves. And it was like, he just woke up every day and said, you know what, I'm going to do this today. And I'd love to have that freedom in my life. It's just incredible that he just reinvented himself every day. So another funny thing that happened, it didn't happen to me. I was there when it was happening, but it happened upstairs in the drum department. So Eddie was up there with Wolf, and I guess Wolf was getting like a little practice pad. And I think that's what it was at the time when he was doing it. And so Eddie just put his credit card down to buy this practice pad for Wolf. And we had just gotten a new, what they call pinware system. So it's a new credit card system where you can like swipe the credit cards, whatever, and it was a new credit card system, and it was horrible. It would literally fail half the time. It would decline the cards half the time, and we were having so many issues with it. And of course, Eddie hands his credit card over, they swipe his card, and the card is declined. So the drum department had a new drum manager. This is his first week on the job. He had come, I think, from the Riverside store where there's zero celebrities. So when Eddie Van Halen walks in, he's freaking out to begin with. And second of all, his credit card fails. So I saw the aftermath of it when I go running down, he goes running downstairs into the kind of administration section behind the scenes of Guitar Center. He's just freaking out like, this is Eddie Van Halen. There's enough money on this card to buy every guitar in this store, and it's not working. He's freaking out. And the store manager's just sitting there just like, chill, 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 chill. Just give it to him. Just give him the pad. He's good for it. He'll come back in. He'll pay for it next time. Don't worry about it. He's a good guy. Don't just give it to him. And it was the funniest thing. And Eddie's just laughing about this the entire time. He's like, he does not care. He did not get offended that his card got declined. He just thought it was funny. And so anyway, that's one little experience. And then the last time I saw him at Guitar Center, and this shows you too just how Eddie is. I believe we were loaning him out a bunch of guitars because he would come in there every once in a while and get some like, crazy 12-string electrical type, some guitars that, it was a baritone. Let me check this out. And we would loan him these things. I'm assuming we loaned it to him. I don't think he actually purchased all that and whatever. He might have, but he had these like 3 or 4 guitar cases, heavy guitar cases, and he was. This is when he was dressed out with like the fingerless gloves and all that stuff. It was really cool looking. This is right before Christmas. So this is right before I quit Guitar Center after Christmas. So he's walking out of it. And by this time he had seen me enough. He recognized me. I'm sure he didn't know my name, but he knew that I worked there and he had seen me multiple times and chatted with me a few times. So he's walking out of Guitar Center, has his arms full of all this stuff. And he just looks up at me and goes, hey man, wait a minute. And then it takes him like 10 seconds just to get this stuff safely on the ground, right? And then he just reaches over and shakes my hand and says, Merry Christmas. I mean, he just wanted to say Merry Christmas and shake my hand. And then go through all the trouble of picking all that crap back up again. And then, it's these little things that you get to really see how, because I dealt with a lot of rock stars like when I worked at Guitar Center. None of them act like that. It's a whole different ball game for most of them. Eddie was genuinely a great human being who happened to be a musical genius as well. So we're so lucky to have somebody like that in the guitar world. I mean, the whole reason Guitar Center probably could even exist and have hundreds of guitars on the wall at a time is because of him. Because of the influence that he had on the guitar community and the excitement that he created around the instrument. So one more story, and then I want to hear your guys' stories in the comments or requests for songs for me to hit on this channel in the next few weeks. I did see him a few years later. I know this wasn't the best time of Eddie's life. I know this was in this fall of 2003, and I know he was going through issues. But this was when we had a strike at the local grocery stores out here in LA County at the Ralphs. And because of that, I guess all the a lot of people who worked there were striking. So they basically could only have one Ralphs open 24 hours. So I had to go down to Studio City, Ralphs on Ventura, because I did my shopping at 2 in the morning. It was the only one 24 hours now. They used to all be 24 hours, but because of the strike, they had to kind of condense it down to 1. So I had to go down, me and my brother Ted, we went down there at 2 in the morning to do our shopping like we always did. And we pull into the parking lot and we pull in beside this car. And this car, I know they're common now, but these Mini Coopers back then were not so common. I had never seen one in my life. And I thought it was the coolest, funniest looking car I've ever seen in my life. I got out, I can't remember the exact design that was on it, but it was like this design on the side of it. But it was this Mini Cooper, and I had never seen it before, or something like that. And I'm like, what, a car? This is the fun. I'm towering over it, and we're just freaking out and having a laugh about the car and just how this, what a unique thing. So we go inside and go down the wine aisle because I love my wine too. And there's a guy leaning over and he's picking up, he's got a little basket and he's got his back turned, he's leaning down and he's putting a lot of wine in his thing. And just this weird kind of aura kind of came over as I passed by him, and I just kind of thought twice about it, and I was like, I bet you that's Eddie. And so I go back and I start walking back towards him, and he just looks up at me, and it's Eddie Van Halen, 2 in the morning, and he was, getting a bunch of really nice wines and a bunch of really like gourmet cheeses. I mean, that's his entire basket was full of this stuff. So we do our shopping, he does his shopping, and there's only one aisle open at that time of night. So we literally stood right behind Eddie Van Halen in line at 2 in the morning at Rouse, me and my brother. And Eddie's standing there with a basket of wine and cheese. And we're standing there. I had a big bag of dog food. And when the person in front of him goes, Eddie puts all of his groceries, wines, and cheese up there, and he sees that I'm having Eddie didn't recognize me at this point. Obviously, I hadn't seen him in 3 years. I had cut my hair I used to have hair down to my waist, and I cut it to like normal length. So I didn't chat with him at all. I just kind of stood there behind him. But he put his groceries up on the thing, and then he pushed them all out of the way to make room because he knew I was holding this bag of dog food, and he didn't want to have me hold it. So he cleared his space like, cool people at the grocery store do. They don't make you hold your stuff. They're cognizant of their surroundings. Anyway, so it was really cool standing in line in the grocery store with Eddie Van Halen. And I remember what was kind of crazy is there was a young guy that was in probably early 20s. That was the cashier. And Eddie kind of takes out when he's taking out his credit card, you see his license picture flip open, and you see it was from the Balance era where he had the hair kind of cropped short, and he just looked really like cool. It's just like, I know that era that, I mean it's from a distance, but it was obvious, the picture on his license. I don't know, I thought it was cool. Anyway, so Eddie leaves. He actually forgot one of his grocery bags. He said, hey sir, come back and get your cheese. And so he got it, and then he left, and the cashier was like freaking out, thinking, I just sold this guy, I don't know, $700 worth of wine and cheese, and he was worried that the guy used like a bum credit card or whatever, because Eddie's not like dressed up like he's like this rich famous rock star. He was just kind of around the house stuff. He didn't care. And I had to tell the guy, by the way, that's the most famous guitar player on the planet. Trust me, the credit card is good. So I put him at ease. That was Eddie Van Halen. No worries. We walked out to the parking lot, and of course, Eddie's still sitting in his car with the door open in the Mini Cooper. It was Eddie Van Halen's car that we were parked right beside, and I couldn't even get into my car because his door was open, and he looked back, and he saw me, and he's sorry, and he closes his door so I can get in my car. And that was the last time that I actually had any kind of personal interactions with him. But I thought it was kind of funny that you can like kind of stand behind the grocery store in line behind Eddie Van Halen, just surreal beyond measure. I did see him perform not long after that with the Sammy Hagar tour that they did. I had a student of mine. I was really broke at the time, so I could not have afforded to go see a concert at all. But I had a student that had tickets to it, and I guess his dad hurt his back or something, and they asked if I would take him. So it was a student of mine who's now a great guitar player himself and a musician. His name is Drew Aaron. You can see him on Instagram. He's got a new album coming out, I think. But we went to see Van Halen at the Staples Center, and I thought it was great, man. It was just it's a great experience just to see him and perform live, and Eddie was always on, so it was just always incredible, no matter what era of Van Halen you're watching. All right, so that's my stories. It's been a sad week here. It's been I don't think I can definitely tell you I've never been as personally affected by somebody's death that I didn't actually personally know. But this one's big. There's never going to be a guitar player of this influence that is going to pass away in my lifetime. I mean, this is it. And it's a kind of a big deal in my life. And I appreciate the people in my life that have reached out this week because they know how important this guy was to me, and they know my Eddie stories that I talk about, the ones I just told you. And how much I respected him as not only a musician but as a person, because I actually got to be one of those people that he got to see how he was on a personal level, and to normal everyday Joe Schmoes like I was, just a 25-year-old guy working at Guitar Center making minimum wage. He didn't care, man. You were cool to him, and he made you feel like that, and it's really, really cool. So I'm gonna miss him. I'm sure everybody else is, but we're gonna keep his memory alive on this channel, and hopefully, if you have not heard a lot of Van Halen, man, crank it up, man. Go listen to it. Follow some of my lessons to see just how brilliant, why this guy is so brilliant. And I got my work cut out for me for the next few weeks. If I'm going to be doing Van Halen, that's tough. So, but I'm going to do it for him. And like you guys, request the songs that you want to see in the description. Oh, I'm not sorry, in the comment section. You're not allowed to put in the description. Only I can do that. Anyway, all right, I'll see you guys again soon.